9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
It's the Rocket Hour. Y'all are now tuned in. Time to hit the pick four that you'd love to win. If your money's coming slow, step on the faster track with your host, Ricky Pasternak. Let's go.
What's friends? Welcome back to the Rocket Hour. We're a little late today, Ricky. It's all your fault, but we are here now, and we're having some fun. We've got the late pick four at Saratoga coming up. You excited?
Yeah, I want to clear something up. It's not my fault. It's definitely his fault. This way. But yeah, I am excited. We have a lot to get to. New York Showcase Day, hence New York Yankees. Just a great New York state of mind, as the song goes. But yeah, it's going to be a good day. Weather's beautiful. 11 races on the card. I'm looking forward to it.
It's very dark in here. I don't know how you're in the light and I'm in the dark, but that's all right. Nobody wants to see my face anyway. Yeah, you're right. New York Showcase Day, always fun. I think we've got a pretty tough sequence here. I think that's going to be a lot of fun as well. Hey, there it is, light. So going to be a good day, no doubt about it. Listen, let's just get right into it. You want to? You want to banter, Vinny, or I don't want to banter with you. So, all right. Race 8 on the card is where we will start it off. Listen, like I said, New York breds all day. So I won't say that over and over for these 4 races all day long. It's a really wide open card. But you start with race 8. We're here on the turf. Very few scratches today, so that's good as well. The 5 is out. Lord Flintshire had no chance really anyway. Field of 7 to kick us off here. Where are you going, Ricky?
Yeah, I obviously think Rinaldi's the horse to beat 7-5, but I did think Mo Ready was a touch interesting. Touch interesting as well. I don't. That Forbidden Apple, just that gate to wire effort. They went pretty slow on the front end. I'm hoping that we see a little bit more pace. Maybe a horse like Microsecond shows some speed as well. I think Mo Ready will be tactical. Obviously, Flavien Prat was aboard on August 6th, so kind of has some experience here as well. And this horse has had plenty of good riders before that. This horse has 2 good races in a row if you throw that Kingston out, which was, again, taken off the dirt. And this horse just makes a lot of sense. And Todd Pletcher obviously getting back into form. His barn is doing really, really well right now. Not quite Chad Brown, but doing really, really well. And I just think that Flavien Prat at 6-1 on the grass just makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, there's no doubt. That's certainly the one that worries me. As you see right now, my single is the 2 Rinaldi. But yeah, I went back and forth about trying to play around with the ticket one way or the other. But kind of what we talked about on Wednesday, where I went 3 of 4 and did the wrong single, like I almost predicted I was going to do on the show. It's a situation where I just want to use too many horses in the other races, so I had to single somewhere. I thought Rinaldi made the most sense, but sure. I mean, Mo Ready coming in with Flavien Prat. But, Flavien lost on him last time. So, maybe he loses again. But I think those are the 2. I think you have them right. I think the 2 and the 8 are the 2 that you have to use here. If you want a little bit of a price, I thought the 4 Microsecond was interesting. But the problem is I don't think the horse gets the position that he's going to need today, right? Like, I think if this horse is on the lead, he's tough. But there seems just to be other faster horses. That's why I left that one off. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, Rinaldi is going to be the clear speed. And I'm not really sure anyone can keep him off. It obviously helps when Luis Saez is riding as well. All the races that Saez has been aboard, even not just the Forbidden Apple, but prior to that, Mohawk, the West Point, he's been on the lead. Well, the Mohawk, he was second. But even, 2 back at Saratoga, he's always been on the lead. And he's 4 for 5 over this track. So here at Saratoga, 2 for 5 on distance with another second as well. I mean, he's obviously the horse to beat. Just for me, singling a Jimmy Bond horse just doesn't sound like an exciting opportunity for me. So I'll throw in Todd Pletcher as well. I wanted to ask you about a horse that seems to be in form, and that's the 3 Graded on a Curve.
Yeah.
Graded on a Curve lost to Rinaldi at Saratoga last year, July 30th at the beginning of the meet. But since that, I mean, he's been pretty good. He hasn't run yet this year. But, I mean, if Chad Brown thinks he can take a step up, he could win the stakes race, I think. Should be, probably mid-pack, probably behind, like 5th or 6th.
Yeah, I mean, Chad Brown off the layoff. We talk about that all the time. That's nothing to be worried about. Yeah, Rinaldi did get the job done that day up here last year, but, a lot has changed, obviously, since now and then. Yeah, I was interested. I had this horse in fourth. I thought this horse definitely makes sense. And if you want to go deeper here, I would use the 3 for sure. And Chad Brown right now is winning at an alarming rate. I mean, his horse is running off the screen. And basically what's happened with Chad, those horses that we talked about early in the meet, they were finishing second, and they were running really well. It's like, damn, that horse ran too well to lose. They're around and back and running for the second time here, and they're winning. That's not the case for Graded on a Curve, but I think Chad's really got it set up to have a big closing 2 weeks is the point. So, yeah, I mean, if you want to go deep here, I would definitely throw Graded on a Curve on. One comment here from Dennis, maybe the 4 goes and sets up the 8. So the 4 trained by Todd Pletcher, the 8, obviously Todd Pletcher. Do you see that happening? You think the 4 kind of goes with the 2 early?
Yeah, I just think that's more so because that's the way the horse has to win. I don't think that's more of a rabbit type of angle. I mean, if you want to make that case for the 8, that's fine. I just don't know if that's really the setup. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think Pletcher's going into it telling Jose Ortiz to run a stakes race that way so he could set up Flavie and Pratt. But I mean, if you want to make that case for the 8, then having the 4 in that case certainly helps as well in terms of setting up the pace. Dennis, I agree to some degree. I guess that's kind of weird, but I disagree others just because, again, like, have that in a stakes race. And he belongs, mind you. Like, Microsecond kind of belongs. It's not like it's not like he looks like a claimer and he's in here. Like, he looks like he needs his best race to have a shot, but he's not completely out of it if Rinaldi doesn't run his best race.
So Dennis says, great storytelling. I'm in the dark wearing white, and you're in the light wearing black. It's like I Spy in here today. So, yeah, because we're rivaling right now. It's like Cody Rhodes and Malachi Black. Dennis, you'll get that one. All right, let's go one race forward to race number 9. I'm thrown off. It's usually 7 through 10. Race number 9. Yeah, my mind's programmed to do that. It's the Albany Stakes, going a 1.1 miles on the dirt, $250,000 purse here. Another really strong field, I thought. The 3 is out, so we got a field of 8. Where are you going here?
Yeah, I thought this was one of the tougher races of the day. Again, I'm going 5 deep. You're going 4 deep, so we'll try to split this. I'll talk about 2 horses on the outside. Well, 3, I guess. We'll go in order, and then you can kind of get to the inside. I was against this Jack Sisterson first time out on the dirt, last time out, and he kind of ran off the screen. It was one of those that you're kind of like 2 turf efforts. They don't really know what they're doing. They debut turf sprinting. Doesn't go well. And Junior Alvarado gets awarded going 8 furlongs on the turf. That doesn't go well, but he really, really took to the dirt last time out. It was a scheduled dirt race. I mean, based off of that, he can win. I mean, if he takes a big step forward, I don't really love any of these dirt runners outside of a couple in here, and I think he kind of makes sense at a price. Let's move on to the 7 I'll talk about, and that's Joey Loose Lips.
You always like this horse, I feel like.
Oh, sure. If I didn't before, I guess I will now. Michelle Gianguglio, I don't know if I pronounced that right, but she's been in the money with all 4 of her runners. I mean, I don't know. Irad Ortiz got aboard last time out in a state bred allowance race. Should have really won, to be quite honest with you. Got caught at the wire to Bingo John, who I'm actually not using here. I thought this horse ran a really, really banged-up race, did everything he was asked to do. He was stretching out for the first time. He just got caught, unfortunately. With that being said, he probably needs to step up again. So he's interesting at a price as well. I think we can see a price here, and that's going to move me onto the 8, Our Man Mike. He's a closer. I mean, going to be way, way, way out of it. Lost to Bingo John and Joey Loose Lips, but I think there's a little bit more speed in here.
Every time you say it, I just laugh.
Oh, Joey Loose Lips. I just think there's going to be more speed in here than there was last time out. They went 48 and 4. Excuse me. I don't think we're going to get that again. I think we're going to get a little bit more speed, which should set up a horse like that. I'm with you. There are a few horses, closer to the rail that make a lot of sense as well, but I think this is where we can get a price later in the sequence.
I almost went too deep here, but I didn't do it because I don't know. I feel like there's just some question marks. I just didn't trust these horses quite as much as what the form says. Obviously, the 5 Bobby Bow is a horse you got to pay big time attention to. Coming out of a maiden special weight win at Del Mar against Open Company, and now comes here obviously against New York breds. Bob Baffert trains, $1.1 million purchase. So he's been a disappointment, right? I mean, but he did run very well last time out. He might just ship in here to Saratoga and just outclass the other New York breds. But, American Revolution for Todd Pletcher, that horse looked awfully, awfully good as well last time out. So you didn't want to leave that horse out. Those are the two I almost just kind of left it at. But I think the big key here is the 1.125 distance. Like, we don't know if Bobby Bow wants to run that far. And I used Bingo John. I thought the horse won at the distance last time out pretty impressively. Brad Cox, can't go wrong there. I used him right back here. I thought Bingo John is a horse that had a shot. I think this is kind of going to stalk the pace type of situation, just like he did last time out. And there's some fast ones in here, but if they get a little tired, I think Bingo John gets the first run on him. And it's a gamble, the one horse. I use this one, and you might think I'm crazy, but the dirt form here is not awful. John Velasquez jumps aboard today for Kelly Breen. They're bringing this horse over from Monmouth, but won a stakes at Monmouth 3 back on the dirt. I get that this is a little bit of a stretch, but again, I think that pace might get pretty hot between the 2 and the 5, and if it does, I think the 1 can pick up some pieces late. So 4 deep for me, 1, 2, 4, 5. Do you have any rebuttals of the 1 there that I didn't use or that you didn't use?
Yeah. So this would be my biggest concern. After he won that race back on May 28th at Monmouth, a race that was taken off, it was fast and sealed.
Yep.
Why didn't we see this horse again on the dirt?
I don't know.
Well, I think that's a fair question, right?
Yep.
I mean, I'm with you on the price aspect because I do believe that their prices, hence I'm going with the 6, 7, 8. It's just one of those, like, we know that the 8 is a dirt horse. Lost to Bingo John and again and Joey Loose Lips, I guess I'll continue to say. But this horse, the 1 is an English channel, so I get the turf efforts, but the turf efforts have been bad. I'm just trying to understand what the thinking is with the connection. It's not the horse itself. I don't think he's outclassed. It's just like he doesn't even, his performances aren't really stakes worthy as far as I'm concerned. He has 1 good stakes effort. The other ones really haven't been great. He did run into Woodhaven, and that was decent. But this year, I mean, he just doesn't look like he belongs. And again, maybe this is one of those, I'm with you. We don't know about Bobby Bow. And we saw American Revolution. What did he beat at Finger Lakes?
I don't know.
Not much. He beat a horse in Purple Hearted who scratched. And then Lobster, who I don't like at all. So
I like the name.
Yeah, great name. But, I mean, what did he – I mean, that New York Bred Stakes race looks like it was worse than the maiden special weight race. Water's Edge was a nice horse that didn't run well back. But he was a nice horse. And then he lost to Mandaloon and Bob's Edge, last year when he debuted.
Yeah.
I think the 2 and 5 are going to be vulnerable. I don't see any of them running off the screen. So maybe this is where we get a price, and we'll see. Yeah, as Jared chimes in, the New York bred horse names are gold. They're right. Their horse names are better than their running. That's definitely for sure. But there's some exciting, I guess would be the right word, prospects here. English Channel on the dirt. Aaron's still drunk from yesterday. No, I'm not. I might be. All right. Josh says, Bingo John. I agree. I have him. You don't have him. I just think you like the 7 so much. You like those loose lips over there, Ricky. So. Well, no, I mean, I kind of looked at the 4, and it's like, all right, that kind of looks like an outlier. His last race kind of looks like an outlier. He won by a neck, so it wasn't all that impressive. But then before that, similar, I guess he was 6.5 furlongs, 7 by 8. Then he lost it too early. Mind you, too early just never wins a race. Too early finishes second every race.
He's too late, you could say.
You can say that. I won't say that. 5th by 14. You know what I'm saying? It kind of just looks. And then he couldn't even win allowance optional claiming it over sealed sloppy at Aqueduct to Lobster, who just lost to American Revolution by 1,000 lengths. So I can't get to that horse at all. Outside of someone telling me that it's Brad Cox, I really just can't.
Yeah, Josh says he hit big that day when Bingo John got home, so maybe bet him right back here. All right, let's move on to the 9th race. Full field here again. Or I shouldn't say full field, but a strong field, a large field of 10 horses. We're back to the turf, mile and a 16th. It's the Yaddo Handicapped. $150,000 for these New York Reds. I thought this was another really wide open event.
Yeah, I guess I'll start with a 30-1 shot.
Wow, that's a good way to start.
Eduardo Jones and Dylan Davis. Look, I'm not really sure what's happened with Dancing with Daffodils, but she's now won 2 races in a row, and she's done it at prices. That's one of the biggest angles I try to look at. If you're winning at a short price and then you become a long shot, it's like I don't really love that. It's kind of those like you're outclassed. She's done it at 17-1, and she's done it at 22-1 now. Mind you, she lost to Robin Sparkles by less than 6 lengths, and that was a race that was on a muddy track. Prior to that, Allowance Optional Claim, like at big prices, she's running pretty well for her odds.
Yep.
I'm not really sure what to make of her, but she should not be 30-1. I'm not saying she's the horse to beat. I'm not saying she's going to run a bang-up race, but she should not be anywhere close to 30-1, and I think we can make a case against a bunch of others. And then the other horse that I'll talk about is the 9, Dancing Kiki. Not good on the turf at all. But it kind of seems to be that Mike Maker gets his horse from Jimmy Ryerson, puts in the Saratoga due on August 12th, kind of runs off the screen there, and now ends up here. I think maybe Mike Maker saw something. I mean, she was really, really dominant in that race. And I know that was a dirt race, and she hasn't been good on the turf. I don't know. Again, I think I can get 6-1. That's a fair price on a horse for Mike Maker that might be getting better. And mind you, she's a 4-year-old now, so there's still room for upside. It's not like she's 6 or 7 or anything like that. So I thought that makes sense. But I agree with a bunch of you. You used a 3, 4, and 6, and so did I. So we're kind of on the same page with those 3.
I just think that this race, there's so many different ways you can go. Yeah, I debated this for a while. I used the number 6 Chocolate Cookie on top. Horse seems to be running better each start. Fletcher, third off the layoff. Irad aborted for the 3rd straight time. I know the horse is kind of disappointed, but in the last 2 efforts, losing as a favorite. But hey, at least the horse is you're getting a price on the horse today at 6-1. I'll take another shot. Yeah, the 3 you kind of touched on. How about the 4 Giacosa? This is a horse that I kind of fall for every now and then. This is just a really consistent horse. This is a Ricky Pasternak type that just is always around with a shot at the end. Last time out did beat Chocolate Cookie, pretty considerably. I'm worried this horse won't get that trip that she got last time. I thought that trip was perfect and kind of got her to the winner's circle. But it's a really good race over this track at this distance. Comes right back here. Pretty similar, really, of a race. I think Chocolate Cookie's got a shot. I've got to go with Giacosa as well. You talked about a long shot. What about the 10 horse all the way to the outside? Kilkea? Is that how you would say it? Kilkea. Ricky's so smart. Kilkea. Look, last 2 races were on the dirt, but they were off the turf races, so they wanted to run this horse here. It's not like they were trying to do something different. 3 back was not good. But 4 back won a turf allowance, open company at Gulfstream Park. I don't know. I think this horse is a controlling speed. I think Flavian Pratt getting aboard is a very, very big positive. I don't think this horse should be 15-1. Now, maybe she won't because Pratt's aboard. I still think you get double-digit odds. She could take them gate to wire here, Ricky.
Yeah, I don't hate that point. But again, she just lost to Dancing with Daffodils, who's 30-1. So it's kind of like, how do you play this game? Yeah, I mean, so Kilkea comes in at 15-1.
Mm-hmm.
Fine. But the 1 just beat her at 30 and going to be at 22-1. Now 30-1. I'm trying to understand, I guess, the morning line. The race before that, again, that race against Robin Sparkles was a nice race.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't want to say she's a better dirt horse because she's only had one bad performance on the turf, and it came last time out. But even the race before that, I don't know. The last turf race that we're looking at, which was back in April, was horrible. Then she ran at Gulfstream, was fine. I just don't know what to make of her this year because she just hasn't been that good this year. Her one, she did win down at Gulfstream off the layoff, and then it's been horrible on the turf, even though that was one race. I'll just take the one from the rail. I'm with you, though, on the speed thing. I mean, if she can get the lead, then we'll see what happens. But I think there's a decent amount of speed actually here for this 2-turn type of race.
Yeah, I think it's just the deal with Flavian aboard. He can give this filly the trip that's needed. I'm pretty confident. Nick said it pretty well. Wired the field with Junior, then tries longer and 80K optional claimer, then has 2 up straight off the turf. Now gets Pratt. I mean, they're all positive signs coming into today. And again, you're not betting this horse at 3-1, but at 10-1, yeah, I think it's worth a shot. You've got to remember on a card like today, sometimes the obvious horses don't win because these New York breds are a cut below in general. Not all of them, but most of them are a cut below. So you kind of get your horses that aren't really that great and really don't deserve maybe to be 4 to 5 shots, and they're not very good and they get beat. So keep that in mind. These races usually produce pretty good payouts. So, wouldn't you agree with that?
No, I do. Again, I think going deep in here makes sense. I use 5. It's not right. A matter of going deep. It's just a matter of me not getting to that horse. Yeah. I don't disagree with anything anyone's saying. That's just not my type of horse.
Yeah, I think hold on, where is Dennis? There you are, Dennis. I think he's right about this. I think Jose Ortiz kind of had to go with the maker horse. That's why he's off the 7. So I think it's another positive sign. Like, it's a rider change for the 7, but I don't think it was like, I don't think it was Jose necessarily choosing one horse over another, other than one trainer over another, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's not going to run again for, no offense, you're not going to run again for Charles Frock over Mike Meeker.
No,
yeah. Do it. I mean, yeah. So it's also, to be quite honest, I'm pretty sure the 9 is more talented as well. So,
well, I said that could be for sure. Nick also says, or asked a question. I think it's a good one. Do you upgrade any of these horses coming from open company races? Yes, is my answer to that one.
Yeah, where you find it fit. I don't know if I would say an open company on allowance race, depending on the race, probably like more times than not, probably even with a New York bred stakes race.
I would agree.
Again, that's not like set in stone, but more times than not, if you were just to make that assumption, I think that's pretty fair. You're
gonna, especially up here, like you're gonna get like a pocket square, let's say last week. Though that's a tough, that horse would kill New York breds. But on average, what Ricky's saying is an allowance race in New York that's open is about like this. Yeah. So Dennis says depends on what class, but yes, I mean, you never know. You get some monsters sometimes up here in allowances, but for the most part, yeah, I think you're right on with that. All right, let's go to the main event. Just kidding, but let's go to the 11th race, and it's what we always like to close off the show with, right? New York bred maiden claimers on the turf, going a mile and a 16th. This one for 3-year-olds and upward. Another large field here, Ricky, a field of 12. The 5 is out, and then 14, 15, 16 are out. 13 will run. I don't know if you're going to use the 13, but the 13 will be in the race. Another toughie here. Where'd you go?
Yeah. Oh, you used the word toughie. I thought this was kind of a one-horse race with tackle, but tackle's now scratched. So I'm going to open it a little bit more. I think the 7 and 8 are just so much better. I know War Novel, we don't really have a lot to look at, but Brad Cox dropping out of a maiden special weight race. The time form number actually wasn't as bad as what I was anticipating. That's what the 7 is a perfect horse why you need analytics, I think, because it's like you don't know what to make of this horse. Maybe a time form number or a buyer speed figure number or a Brisnet number, whatever you like to use, can kind of give you an indication of how good or how bad that performance really was. again, now Joel Rosario, after that, we could have seen a bad rider potentially. Again, still Brad Cox, but I think this horse is interesting. The 8, Fast Gordon, getting Jose Lozano again on the turf, has been pretty good on the turf at this sort of level. 40,000 last time out, second by enough. And we go all the way back to September last year, second by a neck. This is kind of the level where he belongs. Now you can make the case that he just doesn't win. I've been noticing more times than not, these horses tend to pull through in these sort of situations, and I have a feeling that we'll be we'll get that here again. If War Novel's just better, then we'll find out. But I think Fast Gordon's the most likely winner if War Novel just doesn't show up or it's horrible.
Yeah, I'm gonna put this. Does anyone have a cheat sheet with classes order? And Nick Thomas says that's my biggest bugaboo is trying to find what class is better than other. No, not that I know of, but I think this is a really good idea. We might try to put something together like that. Good idea. Anyway, all right, let's go to this race. Yeah, Nick Thomas says Henning Pratt late double looks juicy. I'm kind of with you. I use that horse. Obviously, I used 1, 7, 8, and 9. I put War Novel on top as well. So you went too deep, and I did use your 2, and I have the 7 on top. I think he made a lot of good cases there. Fast Gordon, it's one of these horses that usually you look at this and you're like, damn, this horse is 6 times, still hasn't got the job done, got a perfect trip last time. But look, that was only the second time the horse had been in for a maiden claiming price. And gosh, should have won the race. So I thought begrudgingly, I would say, I threw Fast Gordon into the mix. And then the 9, and I'll put up Dennis's comment before I talk about the 9 here. He likes 8 and the 9 and the 4 as a price. But the 9 I was interested in too, Dennis. And I think this is a horse that last time out was not great, but I think can bounce back. Big factor for me is Ron Moquette is a solid trainer, but obviously does not have a ton of horses up here, 0 for 9. But when Luis Saez jumps aboard a trainer with a trainer that doesn't have connections with him at all, you have to take notice at this meet. That's just where we're at. And I think you know that better than anybody after what happened on Wednesday. Yeah, on paper, that horse just didn't look that great. But when he gets aboard for quote unquote unknown trainer, but I'm not saying Moquette is, but for here, you know what I mean? You just have to take notice of it. And so I threw the 9 on, plus the 9 doesn't look too bad on paper. Did you consider the 9?
Yeah, no, I did. That was a horse that I've now elevated from 4th to 3rd because of tackling out. Ron Moquette has not looked good.
No.
That's really what it comes down to. And foreshadowing, since we're not talking stakes races, I'm sure Whitmore will finish about 3rd or worse. So, yeah. I like him as a trainer. I think he's fine at some lower tracks. He's not good enough to run here. The fact that Saez picks up now is encouraging, but again, this is where people need to kind of dive through. Finding Luis Saez on any of these other horses, I don't think you're going to find it. So that's maybe where this comes down to as well. It's like, he didn't get the choice, like we talked about the race before, where it's like, Jose Ortiz had an option. Yeah. Luis Saez hasn't been on any of these horses for a long time if we could find it. So, yeah, I see it. The best thing I like about the 9 is that the horse can go gate to wide, and Luis Saez, will help that. Yep. So if he just goes gate to wide, this field stinks. We'll see. One of my favorite angles. Nick says one of my favorite angles is a horse who's been real close and get a giant jockey upgrade, and so he's talking about the 1 hitting the bill. I don't hate it, but we got to take it with a grain of salt again because Flavien Prat hasn't been aboard any of these, and he's already here. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, John Velasquez wouldn't ride if he were to go out west. I think he's actually going to be out there on Sunday. Yeah, he won't ride a maiden claiming or even maybe a maiden special weight that he might not see again. Pratt will. So I think we just need to take that with a grain of salt. But it's a fair point. I don't disagree with it at all.
I think this horse here, 8 weeks long, has a better shot than the race before, just because it's such a weak field, and these are the kind of races where a jockey can make a big time difference, right? Because if all the horses are like, yeah, I mean, maybe you look at it and they're not all even, so to speak, but it's like a trip, a ride, anything, little things like that will make a big difference. Where you're in a stakes field, it's like the number one thing you have to have is a horse that's talented enough to win. Where here, it's like, yeah, they're all pretty bad. So if Flavian can get a little bit more out of that horse, he's got a shot. So I'm with you. I think it's a good angle. I will say that for sure. So, well, this was quick. We're at the 30-minute mark, and we're through the card. I'll let you go ahead and summarize your ticket for us.
Yeah, we only have like an hour till the first post. A little over an hour.
Yeah.
I'll start in race number 8. Again, 8 through 11, so a little different here. I thought the 2, Rinaldi, was obviously the horse to use, but I think Mo Ready is going to be interesting. Again, throw the race 2 out, which is the Kingston, has been pretty good on the turf in the last couple starts and looked good in the only turf race this year. So I think that's a horse to keep an eye on. I went deep in the Albany Stakes. I went 2, 5, 6, 7, 8. I just have a lot of question marks about the short prices. I'm not going to get into it again, but I think finding some prices and including makes a lot of sense. Race number 10, I'm all in. Let's see if Dancing with Daffodils can make it 3 in a row. This will be the toughest event that she's running, and she's going to do it at a price. Again, a bunch of prices here: 1, 3, 4, 6, and 9. I went 5 deep, and then in the end, I just went 7, 8. We'll find out if this Brad Cox horse is anything, making a second start first on the turf. And Fast Gordon, 2 races at this level, has done pretty well. One at Belmont, one at Saratoga. Again, one, even though it was 2020, even repeated that and probably should have won. Just literally into the final stride got caught. If he repeats that, he should win. So it's 2 by 5 by 5 by 2. I don't think I've ever had a sequence like that before. So it's a $50 ticket, race 8 through 11.
All right. Yeah, I'm with Ricky here today as far as we got to hunt for prices. And so as I say that, I start off and say, I got the single somewhere here. I want to play 4 horses in the other 3 legs. So I do single Rinaldi in the first leg, and then I'm just spreading and I've got a couple of prices mixed in every leg. Where if this thing hits, it's going to pay a lot. So 1, 2, 4, 5 in race 9. Like I said, just a very wide open affair. A lot of, that's the other leg. If you want to try to go short, I wouldn't blame you to go just the 2 and the 5. I don't trust them enough. 10th race, I went 3, 4, 6, and 10. And rounded off in the 11th race, 1, 7, 8, and 9. Not a very good race there, but a pretty good betting race. All right, yeah, well, that's it, Ricky. We're done. Since we have a little time, though, what do you think of the Travers?
We have to go over this again?
We don't have to.
I just think it's essential qualities race to lose, to be quite honest. I said it on Blinkers Off yesterday. Mm-hmm. This is one of the worst Travers fields I've seen in a long time. Now, it's not his fault. Just the other competitors in it make it bad.
Yeah. I knew it.
It's like he's supposed to win. I think he's going to do better than the Jim Dandy. If more horses actually sets it up, there should be some pace for him to close into as well. He really has no excuses. He's been the best 2-year-old. He's been the best 3-year-old. There's nothing to say. And I think a win here would pretty much cement him as maybe this firm second choice in the Classic behind Nick Sko if he wins impressively. Where I guess we'll find out, but that's kind of where I'm thinking. So I don't have much to say. I'll let you kind of go over it.
No, I agree. You have to make up reasons to beat him. That's all there is to it. You literally have to make up reasons to beat him. And if he loses, you have a shot to be right, but it will just be because he didn't fire or he literally was racing in the parking lot. That's what it's going to take to beat him. So, but listen, I get if you don't want to play the chalk, I understand. Just know you're going against the best horse. There's no doubt about it. Most singled horse in the sequence today, I think it is Rinaldi or is it Bobby Bowe? What do you think? That's a tough question. I think it's Rinaldi.
I would assume Rinaldi as well. I also think a lot of people would be hesitant to single a shipper. So who's only won a maiden special weight race, by the way. So, I'd be shocked if Rinaldi is not the most likely single. Or I don't think singling is a good way to play, but I'd be shocked if you ask just the random 10 people walking into the track what they would say. So,
how about, what do you think of the Charleston Classic? Have you looked at that yet? No. Yeah, you didn't do a product for that. So you have no idea. I'll take over on that. Listen, I agree with Nick. I think I flipped Rushy in Warriors Charge. I think I have Art Collector, Rushy, Warriors Charge. Warriors Charge ran really, really well last time out, but he's been pretty hit and miss, let's say, at best. Art Collector looked really, really good. And then I think Rushy, I think he'll like that configuration. So I think those are your three. Let's see. Who's the most singled horse on Travers Day? Is it Gamine or is it Essential Quality? Or is it Latruska? Could be her as well.
I definitely don't think it's Latruska.
I don't either.
I think Essential Quality is a better single, to be honest. I made that point yesterday again. I don't really want to go through every point again. Watch blinkers off because we covered all the stakes races yesterday. I just find Gamino to be a little bit more vulnerable. Again, we'll see if the juice is loose. Did he bring his A+ juice for her, or does he bring a C- juice? Maybe that will give a better indication. I also just think I think Essential Quality is in form, and the distance should help a little bit more. Not that Gamino's a bad single. If I had to pick a single, that's where I would go with Essential Quality.
It's pretty funny because Nick did watch. I think you were maybe commenting, and he asked a question that was not asked on Blinkers Off. So I thought, hey, we could answer it on the Rocket Hour. But no, Ricky says, no, I don't want to do this again. So
well, we literally just did it last night.
Oh, man. All right, guys, we're going to get off here. Ricky, it's getting testy in here already, and it's early. It's 11.
It's actually 12:06.
Yeah.
This guy hasn't been right at the time.
See, there he is again, getting testy on us again, folks. All right, guys. I don't know about this. Can we answer another question, Ricky? Is that allowed or no?
Yeah, no, we can answer another question. I just prefer not to go through the same rigmarole again. Oh, okay. So this is a fair one. At least we can talk about this. I'll let you go first. Which one is going to have a bigger price? Are we talking about today, by the way?
We're talking about the Travers card. I just think that Forgo. I picked Doubly Blessed on top. I just think something weird is going to happen in that race. I just have a feeling. I think that's going to for the stakes. I think that's going to produce the biggest prices because the Sword Dancer. I think 1, 2, 6, and those aren't going to be big prices. But I think one of those three are certainly going to win. I think Gamine's going to win. I think Essential Quality is going to win. Latruska. I mean, if Latruska loses, it's probably going to be the Swiss Skydiver, so that's not going to be a big price, even if she goes down. The Jerkins, I don't know how you beat the two monsters in there. I think it's got to be the Forgo. That's where I took a shot.
Yeah, I went with Balsam Spa. Again, I said it last night.
Possible, yeah.
But I think this is just a bunch of horses that haven't really shown me that you can rely on them to win. The best case you can make for it is Viadera. Viadera was winning a bunch of races all over Saratoga, Belmont, Del Mar, and then runs fourth by 2 3/4 to Regal Glory, Hendy Woods, and Shifty Sheen. Interesting name. But maybe you could say it's first off a layoff. I just think I said yesterday I thought Platinum Painter was interesting that you don't have to get me going on a Jose Lozano turf horse, but if she gets the lead, I think we can see a walk the dog type of effort. I think this is one of those that it's weird. You don't want to go all. You might want to just take a few short prices and then use a horse like this. I don't think going all is going to work out because if you come in at 2, 3, or 6, you're losing a lot of value. So I'll give it away now. I went 3, 5, 6. I'm eliminating Tama here, and I'll just see what happens. I do think Viadera is the best horse, the most talented, but I just don't trust her. I really don't. And maybe this is where we can blow up the early pick 5 or pick 4 with a horse like that.
Could be possible. CJ Andrews says, when I saw the horses came back out of the Vanderbilt, I want to beat that race badly. I thought the race was so bad. There were a lot of horses in that race that just didn't show up. So it's a weird dynamic of, is Mischievous Alex just awful now, or will that horse rebound? Is Frenzy Fire just awful now, or will he rebound? I'm with you. I hated it as well. That's why I went Doubly Blessed. The problem is most of them are coming out of that race, and so that's really quite annoying. Mind Control obviously is another more logical horse that's not coming out of that race that you can play. So Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I hated that race as well. That race, I had special reserve, and that one really pissed me off because it looked like he was going to win on Lexingtonian pre-rallies and gets the job done. You guys have any traditions that you do while you're at Saratoga racetrack each time you go? Superstitions? I'm not superstitious at all. Traditions, definitely. Maybe more than I can count. I mean, it seems like we always go to Sperry's. We always have the Shake Shack. We always have the Patty Bar. We have our spots, I would say, that we stand every time. You've been coming for a lot longer than I have. Any traditions you have, or maybe your family has?
Well, we've always stayed at the same hotel.
Yeah,
I guess that's the tradition.
That's a tradition,
and,
for sure.
and it's not even. Honestly, I'm not at that hotel right now. I'm not gonna say what hotel it is, but I'm not at that hotel now. It's more when my family comes. That tradition, unfortunately, is gonna end.
Yeah.
After a legitimate quarter of a century for me. It's been 25 years. I've been coming up for since I was born in June of '96. So I guess that's the biggest tradition. I don't really have any spots or anything like that. Honestly, in terms of restaurants, it's kind of where you can get a reservation.
Right.
Like it's not. It's weird. It's not like New York City where it's like, all right, we'll just go to a bunch. Like you kind of really have to plan this out because everyone comes here, and kind of after Labor Day or maybe the end of September, things die down. And if you're local here, So I wouldn't say any traditions outside of literally staying at the same hotel for the last 25 years, but that's going to end come this summer, or beginning of next summer, however you want to look at it. So quarter of a century. It was a good quarter of a century. Maybe I'll pop in and say hello to everyone who's still working there. Who knows?
There you go. All right. While at the track, do you bet in person or machine or on the phone? I haven't done it in person in a long time. Machine, I usually do at the track. Ricky, on the phone, probably.
Yeah. I will say there is something walking up there, giving them cash and holding the ticket.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
I understand it's a lot easier.
Getting that money when you win, too, makes me, but I hate it. I don't hate it, but it's like, oh, you look, my account balance is up. Okay. You know?
And that's the thing, right? It's kind of like, my Venmo balance is up. Yeah, but can I hold that money?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I would have to then go to the bank, deposit it, put it into my checking account, withdraw it to hold it. There's something to be said for it. It's a lot easier. Mind you, it's a lot faster. Sometimes the Wi-Fi at some of these crowded tracks, it's not great as well. Sometimes you press the wrong button. Like, they're on it. I'm usually on the phone, but I will admit, sometimes doing it in person is a nice feeling as well. It's like old-fashioned, old school kind of.
For sure, and this is an old school type of place, so that always makes sense as well. Let's see. So I always play my horizontals on the phone and single race side bets. I like to play fast track. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I like having that ticket. Like even Ricky, what he said, even the ticket, just having the ticket in your hand, it's kind of cool. It's kind of nice. All right, Russ says, are y'all in the same room? Unfortunately, Russ, yes, we are. All right. There you go. There you have it. That's why I'm so angry in these shows lately. No, I'm kidding. All right, guys. We're going to get off here because we're getting close to post time. Only about 45 minutes. Ricky? Anything? Any last words?
No. Other than if you guys are around, if anyone's up here for either today or tomorrow, I don't know if I'll be here Sunday or not. I guess it depends. But yeah, if you're definitely around either today or tomorrow, please let one of us know, either at racing_dudes, or let me know, or send us an email, or however you want to. We'll be at the track. I think we're going to be there for the first race tomorrow as well. So we'll be there at like 11:30 in the morning all day.
Yep.
So yeah, if you guys will probably be at one of the bars, or maybe we'll have seats where we'll try to rest our feet or something. But we'll definitely be around all day. We'll be even in the town at night. So we'll be up and around and staying busy if you guys want to.
Even something as simple as, hey, we're going to be at the track. Shout us out if you want to hang out. Ricky drags. So we might be at the seat. We may have our feet up on the seat. We may be in the bathroom at some point. Send us an email, a Twitter.
Well, don't send a Twitter. That doesn't exist. You can't send a Twitter. Don't send an app. But maybe people are busy at the track and would like to meet up with us afterwards. Have you ever thought about that?
Okay. All right, guys. So good luck, everybody playing today. New York State or New York Bread Day. Going to be a fun day at the track. Beautiful weather. Listen, tomorrow, if you are going to be here, it's going to be 70 degrees. So this is going to be really beautiful. So going to be a lot of fun. Good luck today. Good luck this weekend with the Travers. Ricky and I'll be right back here Tuesday talking about everything that happened this weekend. Should be a lot of fun. So good luck, everybody, and we'll see you next week.